The Houston Texans are sitting on a financial ticking time bomb that is about to explode the defensive market forever. We are not talking about a standard contract extension here. We are talking about a historical shift in how the franchise values its elite stars. The numbers coming out of NRG Stadium suggest a payday so massive it will change the landscape of the AFC South. With a cornerstone player eligible for a life-altering raise, the front office is facing a massive crossroads. Is Houston ready to make this player the highest-paid defender in the history of the NFL? Will Anderson Jr. is officially at the center of the most expensive conversation in Houston Texans history as we head into this crucial offseason period. After delivering an absolutely electric 2025 campaign that earned him a first-team All-Pro nod, the defensive end has proven he is the undisputed engine of this unit. The clock is now ticking loudly because he is finally eligible for his rookie extension, heading into his fourth season as a pro. My sources within the building are making it very clear that this is no longer a matter of if a deal gets done, but rather how many zeros are going to be on that final check. The Texans have already secured some breathing room by picking up his fifth-year option, but the pressure to lock him down long-term is mounting every single day. If they wait too long, the price only goes up as other stars around the league reset the market. The franchise knows they have a generational talent who perfectly embodies the culture DeMeco Ryans has built here. However, the latest reports coming from the inside suggest that the financial demands are far higher than anyone originally anticipated. We are talking about a deal that could potentially cripple the salary cap if not structured perfectly. The front office is working behind the scenes right now to find a balance between rewarding their superstar and maintaining enough flexibility to keep the championship window open for CJ Stroud and the rest of this young core. But the latest intelligence I have received indicates that Anderson's camp is not looking for a discount. They know his worth, and they know the leverage they hold over a team that traded up specifically to make him the face of their defense. The question now is exactly how high that price tag has climbed since his last sack in the playoffs. You won't believe the specific numbers that are currently being discussed behind closed doors, and it starts with a figure that will leave most fans in complete shock. If you thought the recent market for pass rushers was expensive, you haven't seen anything yet because the benchmark is about to be completely obliterated by the Texans' top draft pick. The details of this looming mega deal are finally starting to surface, and they point to a record-breaking contract. Do you think the Texans should pay whatever it takes to keep this elite pass rusher in Houston for the rest of his career? This decision will define the franchise's salary cap for the next 5 years. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button right now to stay updated on every single Texans move this offseason. Tom Pelissero recently dropped a massive knowledge bomb during his appearance on The Rich Eisen Show that has sent shockwaves through the Houston front office. According to Pelissero, the annual value on this next deal for the star defender is bound to start with a 4. That means we are looking at a contract worth at least $40 million per season. Pelissero emphasized that the price for elite pass rushers is only going up, and Houston is currently staring at a player who is much more than just a stat sheet stuffer. He is a locker room leader, a community pillar, and the absolute prototype of what it means to be a Houston Texan in the modern era. Pelissero made it very clear that there is a premium price for that kind of character and production, and the Texans are expected to pay it. The insider also noted that getting ahead of the marketplace is vital because other elite defenders like Micah Parsons are also coming up for massive extensions soon. If the Texans wait until those deals are signed, $40 million might look like a bargain compared to the new reality. My sources tell me that the negotiations are focusing on making him the highest-paid edge rusher on an average annual value basis. This isn't just about the money. It's about the statement the team makes to the rest of the league. They want everyone to know that if you play at an all-pro level in Houston, you get rewarded at an all-pro level. Pelissero also mentioned that there is no chance he takes a deal similar to what Travon Walker recently signed at $27.5 million a year. That ship has sailed. Anderson is looking for Micah Parsons' money, and he has the accolades to justify it. The internal conversations are now revolving around how much of that $40 million plus will be fully guaranteed at signing. The Texans typically like to keep their structure clean, but for a player of this magnitude, they might have to break their own rules. The pressure is on general manager Nick Caserio to get this right before training camp starts to avoid any unnecessary distractions during a season with Super Bowl aspirations. This is a high-stakes game of financial chess that will dictate the future of the Houston defense. The technical reality of this contract means the Houston Texans are entering a new era of roster management where the cheap labor of rookie contracts is officially ending. When you have a superstar quarterback like C.J. Stroud and a dominant force like Will Anderson Jr. hitting their extension windows at the same time, the math becomes incredibly complex for the front office. Nick Caserio and the salary cap experts in the building have been preparing for this moment since the day they drafted both players in the top 3 back in 2023. By paying Anderson north of $40 million a year, the Texans are essentially committing a massive percentage of their total cap to one side of the ball. This will inevitably lead to tougher decisions regarding veteran role players and middle-tier free agents in the coming years. We are seeing a shift from a team that can buy depth to a team that must rely on hitting home runs in the draft to fill out the roster around its high-priced stars. The impact on the field, however, is worth every penny. Keeping a cornerstone who can single-handedly wreck an opponent's game plan allows DeMeco Ryans to be more creative with his secondary and blitz packages. The locker room impact is also immeasurable. Anderson is the emotional heartbeat of the defense. If the Texans successfully lock him in before the 2026 season kicks off, they avoid the drama of a potential holdout or the distraction of constant contract questions in the media. This move signals to the entire NFL that Houston is no longer a rebuilding project, but a destination franchise that takes care of its own. Looking toward the future, this deal sets the floor for the edge rusher market, meaning Houston will have the security of having their guy signed before the market moves even higher to $50 million a year, which is where some insiders believe we are headed by 2027. It is a bold, aggressive, and necessary move for a team that wants to stay at the top of the mountain. The front office knows that you cannot replace a player like this through the draft easily, so the only logical path is to empty the pockets now and secure the foundation of the defense for the next half-decade. The ramifications of this deal will be felt across the entire league, especially by teams in the AFC who now have to account for an even more motivated and secure pass rusher for years to come. Ultimately, this looming extension for Will Anderson Jr. is the final proof that the culture shift in Houston is complete. It represents the transformation of the Texans from a team that stars wanted to leave into a team where the best players in the world want to stay and build a legacy. When you look at the trajectory of this franchise, this contract is the bridge to long-term sustainability. It isn't just about a paycheck, it is about cementing the identity of the most violent and disciplined defense in the league. For the fans, this is the news you have been waiting for because it ensures that the core of this team remains intact during their prime championship years. The organization is showing that they are willing to spend the money necessary to bring a Lombardi trophy to the city of Houston. This is a massive win for the front office, the coaching staff, and every player in that locker room who looks up to Anderson's work ethic and leadership. The meaning of this deal goes far beyond the $40 million annual value. It is a declaration of intent. The Texans are here to stay, and they are keeping their best weapons on the field at all costs. As we move closer to training camp, expect the official announcement to drop like a bombshell across the sports world. It will likely make headlines as one of the largest defensive contracts in the history of professional football, and deservedly so. This is how you build a dynasty in the modern NFL, by identifying elite talent early and making sure they never have a reason to wear another uniform. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Is paying an edge rusher over $40 million a year too risky, or is it the only way to win in today's NFL? Tell me your thoughts on how this affects the rest of the roster. If you love the Texans and want the most in-depth insider coverage you can find, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, and don't forget to smash that like button. We are following this story every step of the way until the pen hits the paper. Houston is on the rise, and the defense is about to get a whole lot more expensive. This is the price of greatness.